Yo. What's up, guys? Trader Mayne here. Let's go. Excuse me. All right. How's everyone doing today? Oh, shit. Oopsies. My bad. Sorry. Hold on. We're back. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good Monday. I know it is not Sunday. It is Monday. So I apologize for not getting the stream up yesterday. I was a little busy this weekend and was unable to do the stream, but I did get my new altcoin video up, so I hope you guys had a chance to give that a watch, give it some likes, some views, share it with your friends and family, sit them down, force them to watch it, because you guys know we're trying to take over crypto YouTube here and fucking take the throne from BitBoy, you know, so... looking forward to getting back on schedule here. Got the tattoo out today. It's finally kind of healed. You guys can see the work so far. It's coming along. It's been a lot, but it's turning out fucking gangster as hell, and I'm very, very happy with it. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Gonna get right into things here. We obviously had a little bit of hectic stuff happen this morning with Walmart. LTC went crazy, and I'm actually in an LTC long right now, and I was asleep. My alerts didn't go off, and I didn't have a chance to close on that pump, and I am very, very salty about it. So, yeah, so we'll get right into the video here. We'll go over Bitcoin, we'll go over Ethereum, we'll go over LTC and the craziness that happened. And then as usual at the end, I will ask you guys for some altcoin requests, and I'll cover some of them. So please don't spam the chat with altcoin requests yet. If you have questions about stuff I'm talking about, of course, let me know in the chat. Hit me up, and I will do my best to answer periodically throughout the stream. But save the altcoin requests for the end, and I will let you guys know, and we can kind of go from there. So yeah, I am looking lean. Thank you guys. The cut is going well. I'm down to 197. I was 230 at my peak bulk, and I'm down to 197 now. So the cut is going well. Feeling a little lean, a little bit more agile. The abs are starting to show a little bit, so it's all good, man. Getting ready for Dubai. Cool. So, yeah, I know there's Monday Night Football going on, and I know there's Sunday football going on as well, so we might have to rework the stream time to accommodate for all the American viewers. But we'll talk about that later. As usual, these videos are sponsored by Bybit. So shout out to the Bybit team. They got the new logo fresh in the corner here. So right now, Bybit is showcasing their dual asset mining. I'm totally not reading this off of a screen right now. It's hassle-free. There's flexible financing options, immediate access to liquidity mining via Uniswap V3. You can get the maximum returns. Their liquidity provision strategies are employed by industry professionals to ensure high yields, and it's worry-free. They've got best-in-class security. The infrastructure and risk controls are there to safeguard your funds, so check it out. I've left the link in the description, and if you have any questions, of course, you can leave comments on the video, or let me know, and if I can't answer them myself, I'll let the Bybit team get back to you. So shout out to Bybit with all that fun stuff out of the way. Bills are paid. Time to get into the stream. So Bitcoin having a little bit of a nosedive here recently. So if you look at the date of our last stream, it was on the 6th, right? Or on the 5th, right? So we literally streamed right here And then we've seen this kind of dump happen, and now we're consolidating here, forming a little range. The question obviously now is this the beginning of a larger correction? Are we going to see a pullback into this previous range here, a much bigger dump, or is this just a higher low, ran some lows, and we're going to go higher? So I'm going to give you guys some options and some things that I'm watching. Health, very important, very important. And we can kind of go from there, and we can kind of figure out together a plan of attack for the rest of the week. And I'll give you guys some trade setups that I'm watching. Keep it nice and simple. We'll try and keep this video right around 1 hour, which in Trader Mayne speak usually means like 2 fucking hours. So let's get into it. So Bitcoin, looking at it here, personally, I'm hoping we get a larger retracement here to get into some shorts. What I do not want to see right away is just this kind of dribble down. I would bid this kind of previous range high here, 42K. To me, this is going to be a critical area. If you remember, right, we had essentially 3 months here of consolidation, and then a breakout to the upside, back to 50K. All that fun stuff happened. So this range, to me, is not something I want to see us get back within. If this kind of comes back into this range and stays below here, I think that's quite bad. So personally, if we do go down here, I think this kind of former range high, you have this kind of order blocky looking thing here. You have this nice clean SR level. I'll show you where I drew that from. One moment. Excuse me. Where the hell did I draw this from? I think it should just be these highs. Oh God, I don't even know where my own levels are. Yeah, I guess it was just this high here. But this is effectively this former range high, right? So we have this former range high here. This was our initial range that we were trading within, right? Broke out to the upside, retested, pushed away, right? So I want to see this former range high get defended, assuming we're going to see continued bullishness. So if we do break down here, I would be looking to bid around this former range high and potentially slightly lower. If we get some sort of, big wick or some sort of, kind of quick move in and out, I would probably layer bids all the way down to about 40K for like a swing trade. So I'm now on the 3-day chart here, right? 3-day chart. So I would say anywhere between here to here is where I would probably want to be bidding Bitcoin if we get some sort of dump. So that's effectively 40 to 42,000 with an invalidation below this swing low, which is effectively, well, not effectively, let me give you the actual number. 37K. That would be kind of a high time frame swing setup that you could potentially take. So you're bidding the 3-day order block here. This is the down candle that caused the up move that broke market structure near a key level and then pushed away. So on a first retest of this area, you would assume that it is going to be support. That is the entire order block video I posted in about 10 seconds. So now you don't even need to watch it, but you should watch it multiple times. So many fucking times. I would love to have one of my videos get 10K views. That would be sick. So this is something that I would bid here. If it comes back that low, I would probably start bidding earlier though. I would bid the range high, right? The range high, that 42K level, right down into about 40K for a swing trade. Stop around here, 37K for the fucking moon, right? Not the moon, but targeting here, making a new high, right? So bid here, boom, stop there. If that happens, I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but if that happens, that's a scenario I would like to play. Okay, looking in at the more kind of, I guess, let me do this. So that's a long scenario. Now I'm going to talk about a short scenario, and then I'm going to give you kind of an intraday lower time frame look. Okay, sound good? I'm the boss. I make the fucking rules. But you guys are important members of this family. So your opinions are valued. Okay, so I wish I had way more smoothie, man. I don't know why, but I feel like shit today. Probably because I drank so many glasses of scotch last night and watched Boruto, a great night. But yeah, I feel like ass, man. The short scenario I posted is one that I already already put on Twitter. But effectively, what I would be looking for is a retrace of this dump back into the premium of the range, right? The upper part of the range. And what would the upper part of the range also be? The OTE, right? So if I go here, I press like this, I press this, and then I do this, right into the OTE of the range, right? Big retracement. And then this is an area where I would look to actually get short Bitcoin with my stop up here for a potential leg down, maybe back into here, and then potentially long it back up, right? We'll see. But this is definitely a short scenario if it plays out that I will absolutely be taking. If we get that kind of break up here, which we might, I'm going to be looking to take a short because at this time, right, this is a bearish market structure break on the H12. So we made higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, high. Now we have a lower low. So our anticipation is the next move to be a lower high, potentially. Obviously, it could go this, and then it could go higher. But the way I trade is this is a short setup that I would take. So if we get a move up here, or at least hedge some of my bets, cut some alt exposure, whatever you want to fucking do. But you definitely got to be careful up in this area because my expectation would be a lower high here and then potentially another lower low. And then maybe we get a higher time frame, right? Higher low for a more macro trend move up. And that just goes to infinity right there. That's not how you draw infinity. Hold on. Art. I'm actually going to sell this. Don't right click it. Do not screenshot this. This is a NFT, a one of one by Trader Mayne. If you want to buy this, DM me 100 Ethereum. But yeah, if we get something like this, I'm looking to short up here, back down into here. Why am I looking to short? Well, those are the reasons, right? Lower low on the H12, retracement is a sell. We have a bearish order block here. We have a breaker block up here. We also have this little kind of over under level here, right? So this is like a failed breakout level right here, right? You have the high, broke above, right back below. So up into here, effectively, that's a deviation, meaning that is your risk. Short that bad boy there. So if we get something like that, I'm looking to short it this week. If we get something like I talked about earlier, right, some sort of breakdown here, I'm looking to potentially long that. Okay, so that's the long scenario, the short scenario, kind of high time frame for you guys on Bitcoin. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in and I will show you some potential kind of low time frame interweek plays that I'm watching based on kind of what I'm seeing forming for the next couple days, because this could take a little while to play out. This is, remember, from the 3-day chart, that long scenario I showed you, right? And this is the 12-hour chart, right? So this might take a few days to get back up here. So we'll wait and see. We'll be patient. All right, so does everything make sense for the long scenario and the short scenario that I've just laid out for you guys? Let me know in the chat real quick, and then I will move on. Just take a look here. I'm bleeding. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. What the fuck, dude? I'm just mangled right now. Okay, let me look at the chat. Enjoy your streams, bro. Was referred by Roman Sutherland. I don't know who Roman Sutherland is, but thanks for the referral, homie. Abs only showing the mirror. This is true. Fuck football. Fuck you. I'm just kidding, but not really. Beginning of the end. Sup, Mayne? What's up, Miken? Fuck this market. Okay. BD on the 4-hour. Okay. You bidding Bitcoin expected to reach 50K, lol. It's not worth the risk. Thanks for the input there, John C. Really appreciate it, man. Great comment. Great comment. Every time I watch your stream, BTC's pumping. Keep going, bro. I'll just have to stream forever then. How tall are you? I'm like 6'1.5", maybe. Not maybe. I am 188 centimeters. Okay. Thoughts on FTM? I'll save those for the end, my friend. Yo, what's up? No enough. Order block video was bomb. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I really enjoyed making that video. I will definitely be doing more of those. Order block video was fire. Thank you. Okay, daddy. Whoa. Interesting. Man, Dan. Slurp the Dipperino. Always. We are a family. Definitely. Okay. Would you take one Doge for the NFT? I will take one Doge. I totally just screenshot the NFT DM for offers. That is not how this works, Jamie. Come on. Mayne, what do you think about Bitcoin dominance? Market looks fucked. Usually Bitcoin performs better under these situations. Usually I can read better as well. I will take a look at Bitcoin dominance in a minute if you guys want. Okay, cool. Everyone is clear. Picking scabs, man. Yeah, like a crackhead. When do you look for bearish or bullish order blocks? Go watch my order block video. I explain it for you. Gleaning, my man. Awesome. Appreciate that. You're a great teacher. You are a great commenter. I appreciate that. Awesome. Roman sent another person. I don't know who Roman is, but what up, bro? Thank you. Why do you always wear a hat? I want to see your nice hat. I like wearing hats. I'll do the next stream with no hat if you guys want. I have done videos without my hat before. You just gotta go look. Have you ever been interested in KSM? I don't even know what that is. Mayne, Wine and Tropical Storm Nicholas. Keep up the great work, Mayne. I'm a long-term holder, but I still enjoy your trading videos and keeping up to date on your Twitter. Thank you, Crypto Man. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's get into the intraday stuff. It does sound like everyone has a pretty clear understanding of the fucking long scenario and the short scenario. Yeah, we will get into it. Sorry, I'm just texting. I'm so rude. So yeah, basically pretty straightforward. There's no trade for me here, high time frame right now. I want to see a retracement. We just had a violent move. I want to see the market either put in a higher low and then, build in some bullishness to get into longs, or I want to see it obviously, move up and then see some weakness up here to get into shorts, right? Keep it simple. So yeah, let's get into the intraday here. 80 likes, guys. Let's pump that number up. I want 100 likes on the video. ASAP. It's importante. All right, so looking at the intraday, we've got some pretty AIDS tier price action, and no disrespect to anyone with AIDS, but if I had AIDS, I imagine it would feel exactly like this price action here. This is very reminiscent to me of like 2018, kind of, BitMEX running the market days where it was just really kind of choppy. You had a lot of the BARTs, right, where moves would happen. Very inefficient move would go up and then completely retrace. We got this, whatever this is, the Darth Maul, the dual dildo. No one calls it a dual dildo, but I'm coining that, the double-sided dildo. But yeah, so I mean, this is ugly. Not really a trade here for me unless we can probably get above the mid-range here, right? So we broke down. We're now going sideways. Almost died. That would have been awful for you guys. What would you do without me? You draw your range out, right? So when the move happens, up or down, right? Take your high. Oh, that's fucking hideous. Sorry. Move happens, right? There's your bounce point. Now you can draw out your range. And now you have some levels to work with, right? So boom, boom, boom. And now you can actually start putting some context into the market. So as much as this is choppy, we at least were able to establish a very clear trading range here almost immediately, right? Right after the dump happened, pick the high and the low. You could also use this low, but I don't really like the low of the dump candle, especially because it retraced so much. To me, this seems like a much better area. And as you can see, price is respecting the levels quite well, right? Quite well. So now we have context from an intraday perspective. We have context. Remember the high time frame, right, which is always going top down, right? Always going top down. The high time frame just made a lower low. So we have to realize that if we are taking longs here up to here, that they are technically counter trend, right? And we want to realize that if we get up here, we might be in a great long. You got to take some profit here because there is a chance that we now get resynced with the high time frame order flow. That becomes a lower high, and then the move down is actually much more aggressive. So go watch previous streams, order block videos for more kind of on that kind of shit. But this is technically any sort of longs on the low time frame here are going to be counter the H12 time frame or the daily time frame, which is what I use as my high time frame bias. That is your daily swing low. We are now bearish technically on the daily. So I'm looking for any sort of long in here to be a long into potentially lower high, therefore counter trend, blah, 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 blah. Let's go back to the hourly here. Doesn't mean we can't get in longs, but just remember the context, right? If you get in a long here and we're way up here now and you've TP'd 0 of it, and then you go away from your computer and you come back and we've done this, you can't be surprised, right? You can't be surprised because technically we're bearish on the high time frame. Technically we are bearish. So I like longs kind of from an intraday perspective above the mid-range. We've got a lot of nice interactions at this level here. Clear support, right? Breakdown, rejection, 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 rejection. Almost puked. If we get I'm fucking a mess today, guys. I'm sorry. If we are able to get above here, I would be interested into potentially scaling into some longs, right? Target 1, top of the range. Target 2 would be filling some of this inefficiency here. There's a big void up here. So if we're able to get above the range high from here to here, right? From there to there, effectively, is like empty. This is like air, right? This is like air. So if we're able to get up here, I think this is something that would fill in quite quickly. Where are we looking to take profits into? There's our bearish 1 hour order block, the up candle that caused the down move that broke market structure, right? So that first test up there is your short zone. Your stop could go here, or if you want to take that high time frame setup that I mentioned, it's going to line up very well with this area. So if I mark out this 1 hour block here and we zoom out to the 12 hour, where do you think this is? Where do you think that is? Is it coming to you? Are you seeing the vision? Boom, right at the 7-9, right in line with the 12 hour order block. Order block within an order blockception, okay? So that is your TP area. That is your short hunting area. Personally, I would probably be taking the short either on the 12 hour with my stop up here, or I would be zoomed into a lower time frame like the hourly, and I would be looking for some sort of weakness to form up here. So maybe we come up here, we fill some of this in, and then we get some sort of SFP, right? And then that might give me a tighter invalidation, or if we get some sort of over under, right, where it trades up and then breaks back down. Now you have a clear invalidation, you have an entry, and we short that sucker back into there, okay? So that would be the intraday plan that I'm looking for on the long side, right? So all of that shit lines up perfectly. It looks good, it feels good, it smells good. It's all good. The only other setup I see here forming intraday, well, actually, I see a couple. I'll lay out a couple more potential options for you guys. We could see a breakdown, or we could see some sort of fake out to the upside, obviously, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if we get above the range high, we fill this up to here. We fill this candle in. However, if we are able to if we come up here, right, like we already kind of have a nasty swing failure pattern here, but if we come up here again and then break down, absolutely you can short. Also, if we just roll over here, right, if we roll over here and break below the lower part of the range, we've had 3 tests of the range low. If we do not pump from here, the next test, in my opinion, will not hold and will break down. So if we're not able to get above mid-range here today, tomorrow, we could be putting in the high of the week, you know, very early, or I guess this is the high of the week. But we could very easily see a rejection, and then if we lose that range low, I would look to short from here to here, and then potentially down to that 40K level, which I'd drawn out from the 3-day order block, right? So those would be the short scenarios. Now that we've got this range established and we've had 3 taps of the lows here, if we do not get above the mid-range here, and then obviously we want to see higher, but if we don't get above the mid-range here, another test of this, I'm looking to short the underside down into 42 and potentially low as 40, which I'll then be looking to potentially flip long into, right? So we've got 42 here, and we've also got our 3-day order block level here, right? So I would be looking, if we break down from this range, right, to get into shorts into here, and then flip and start scaling into longs, probably with a stop down here for a big swing, right? So hopefully that's clear. Probably not very concise, but I think that's a pretty good breakdown of what the fuck I think is going to happen, right? 3 taps to the lows. We ran this low here, regained the range low. Let's see if we can get some send happening, right? We've got a ugly ass candle here, but technically this is a 12-hour swing failure pattern. It's ugly, but it is technically a swing failure pattern. So you could argue that this is like a breaker, a huge one. But if we're able, I mean, it's massive, so I don't really like it, but it lines up well with our mid-range. So I'm pretty sure if we get above here, you can start scaling into longs with your stop there or at the range low, targeting 50. Okay? So that is a bunch of up or downs. Might happen. I don't fucking knows for you, but one of those scenarios should yield us with at least a trade or 2 this week. So I'll keep my eyes on it. As usual, I will update on Twitter if anything is playing out. I'm getting into longs, I'm getting into short. I'll do my best to post on Twitter, to post on Discord, and all other forms of social media that I am on. And yeah, so if you have any questions about the Bitcoin analysis, now is your chance. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Roman sent me 2. Used to go by Trader Troy. Damn. Roman, what's up, man? First time watching. Thanks, man. Welcome. Trader Mayne with no cap. Mayne, do you have a McDonald's hat? I wish. I might soon if Bitcoin dies. Have you ever used DeFi? Yes, I've used DeFi. Roman seems to be my biggest fan. Shout out to Roman. You've got a bag load of Roman referrals here. This is hilarious. Well, Roman, if you're watching this, let's do a fucking joint stream, bro. Hope you were texting Kaleo TRX about to go bananas. Let's go fucking making KD for dinner. Let's go, Luke. Get that fucking craft dinner in ya. His and her dildos. That's funny. Okay. Bong water on the lungs. I don't smoke weed anymore, man. I caught that double D yesterday. My best trade yet was playing on the 5-minute. Very nice. Mayne, where do you look for order block entries versus swing failure patterns? Go watch my order block video. I explain exactly how I use them and how I use them to get into trades. Have you ever been to Australia? I have been to Australia. My family did a house swap with an Australian family when I was like 17. And I spent like a month there. And there was a spider like this fucking big above my bed one night. And yeah, haven't been back since. Craigasm, okay? Where is the order flow video? Make a YouTube playlist. Go watch my order block video. It was from last week. and it is in a playlist called the altcoin series. Daddy Mayne. Why is everyone calling me daddy? Do I got fucking big dad energy? Is that what's going on now that I'm 31? Am I giving off daddy energy? I got to get a pair of fucking New Balance shoes, a fanny pack, start rocking jean shorts, and just fucking growing out a gut and just grilling up a storm. Yeah, 25s. I saw your question. You don't need to repeat it. I can already see the blooper reel for this video. Roy Mayne. Oh, what's up, Roman? How's it doing? Thanks for all the referrals, man. Trader Mayne is the single best source of real alpha out there, in my opinion. Get around him. Dude, appreciate that very much. When setting up an order block, are you laying bigs in one big range or one big bid at the order block? So it's up to you, man. If you want to bid just the block, by all means you can, right? Like, let's assume for a second you're going to short this order block here, okay? You absolutely could just put a bid here or an ask and your stop here. Or you could layer, right? You could have some bids here, some bids here, some bids here, right? Maybe you get a better average. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. Personally, on higher time frame order blocks, because the range is big, I will layer. So if you look here, this 3-day order block, the top of it is 40,400. The bottom of it is 37,500. So if I bid here, but then we trade all the way down here, right? And then it goes up. I'm going to have a shitty entry and I'm going to be underwater. This is a big price range. So on a higher time frame order block like this one, I would likely layer some bids in, or I would zoom in on a lower time frame and try and find a low time frame order block within the larger order block to get a more refined, tight entry. But if I'm just swinging it, I would probably layer a couple bids, on a high time frame order block like this one. Conversely, that's a word, right? Let's say that we do get this move up here. Okay, fill this in. If I'm going to just short this 1 hour block, I would probably just put one ask at the edge of the block. I wouldn't layer within here. You could zoom into the 5 minute and try and find a low time frame entry within there. That's totally your prerogative. But I would, on an hourly block, I'm more likely, or even a lower time frame block, I'm more likely just to bang it with one order. Because if you look here, you know, this is 50,600 to 51,100. You know, it's $500 here. It's not nearly as big of a range as that 3-day order block, which was a few $1,000s, right? A couple of percent versus, you know, maybe 1%. Not even 1%. Or maybe it's exactly 1%. Math? Hold on. Effectively 1%. I'm so fucking smart. Cool, man. So hopefully that answers your question there. Need a Roman mainstream, please. Happy to do it, Roman. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, bro. Great breakdown. Order blockception. So good. Yes, sir. Can you look at AVAX? Please save your chart request for the end. We just need Walmart to accept Litecoin again. I still want to meet you. I know your brother. Okay, weird thing to say. SFP, other way as well. LMAO, 253. Watching. Let's get equal amount of likes. Thank you, sir. Why is your target 50 instead of the range high? Because I believe, well, if I'm taking a low time frame long here, let's say I'm getting long above here, I absolutely will TP some, or at least adjust my stops at the range high, because we could effectively reverse there. But if we if we get above the range high, like I said, this is a very inefficient, thin move that I think will get filled in quickly. So that's why I'm targeting higher, right? And I'm also basing that on this, right? The retracement from here to here, the retracement is up into here for the potential lower high. Okay? But yeah, definitely take some off at the range high for sure. When Moon, look at BTCD. Do you think shorting the range high is a bad idea? I wouldn't just short it blind. But if we get a move up to the range high and then we see some sort of, deviation, right, break back within the range, then absolutely that is a short you could take. But I'm not just going to short this on a first test. I don't really have an interest in doing that. I think if we get up above here, and definitely if we get up above here, we likely fill in at least some of that candle. Could we see AVAX? Please save your chart request for the end, guys. Mayne, are you Australian? Do I sound Australian? Is my hat Australian? I am from Canada. Maybe wear the McDonald's hat next time, mate. Mayne, you the best. Thanks, bro. ETH analysis, that's my big bag. Thanks. Roman, you the man. Your Bybit link doesn't work. I'll have to check that. FTX was hacked? ? I have no idea. I don't think so. Is that are people posting that on Twitter right now? If you send me one BTC, I would trade for you in a portfolio. You had full access to it and you'd be able to see your gains daily. No thanks. What do you think on the big dump on other L1s like Solana and FTM? Well, if you go watch my last video, my altcoin video that I posted yesterday, I covered Solana when it was at 195, and I talked about how I think it was going to pull back to about 160 or so. That's exactly what happened. So if you want to see that analysis, go watch that video from yesterday, but I'll also go over Solana at the end of the video. What's up, Cotty? Do you ever use open interest for trading? No. Brother, can you tell me how to briefly learn crypto trading correctly? What are you talking about, man? Watch my videos and you will become a profitable trader. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I don't know, man. 10,000 hours of screen time, thousands of hours of watching YouTube videos, staring at charts, trying things out, taking courses, mentorships, losing a bunch of money. That's about as brief as I can get. Thoughts on Walmart and LTC? Yeah, so we'll talk about LTC, but yeah, I saw that story. I slept in today. Usually I'm up at least by like 7 or 6 or 7, right around the New York Open, so I can see if anything's happening, because we get a lot of moves then, and it sucks because I hate waking up early, but you got to do what you got to do. And I saw the news on Twitter, and then obviously that got recanted and taken back, and it was fake news. Yeah, LTC went crazy. I'm bummed because I'm actually long LTC, and I had a take profit on my long at 250. So if I would have been awake, I would have insta closed on this move, because this is clearly inefficient as fuck. I would have insta closed and made a bunch of money, but instead I am now underwater. So I longed LTC. I'll go over LTC. I'll show you my exact trade in a sec here. But yeah, I logged LTC, TP at 250, woke up, saw it, almost went to TP, and then now I'm underwater. So my entry's at like 185. Yo, Mayne, stop itching. Your fresh tat's not going to heal well. It's already healed, my man. When good morning NFTs, your neck is an order block. That makes sense. Phoenix longs accumulating, is that still relevant in 2021? I don't really have an opinion on that, to be honest with you. Like, I think a lot of people, will ask me, they'll say, okay, like, hey, do you use open interest? Do you look at the longs versus shorts accumulating? Do you look at inflows and outflows? Do you look at this? Do you look at that? What I always say to people is, if you have something that works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? If you have a strategy, a system that you use that is working for you consistently, you do not need to keep adding things. It doesn't mean you can't add new tools to your toolkit. It doesn't mean you can't tweak and shit. But I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours learning how to trade purely based on the charts, purely based on price action. I have no indicators on. I don't even have volume on. So it's not, I don't really see a need for me to add stuff to my system, because I already believe I have an edge. I make money consistently trading this way. So I haven't tried to add a lot of these new things to my arsenal. Maybe that's to my own Disadvantage, I don't really know, but this works for me. It's simple. I really understand price action. I like how clean and plain it is. And when I start trying to incorporate too much other shit, looks like I was just jerking off fucking 2 wieners. That's gross. When I try, what the fuck? When I try and incorporate too much other stuff, it messes me up, right? Like I'll be looking at, like sometimes I use the in silico suite, right? It is cool, right? And there are advantages to it. It is something I'll review every once in a while. But I went through a period of time where I was using the in silico indicators a lot. And then I was kind of getting counter signals. So I would see like something on price action, like, maybe an over under playing out. And I'd be like, okay, well, I want to long that. But then, the in silico indicator would be flashing, some potential bearish signs. And then this would end up playing out. And then this would just continue higher. And that's probably in part that I don't have a full understanding of the suite and I could understand it better. But it was just too many cooks in the kitchen, information overload. And I was starting to get counter signals to, my price action with indicators or whatever. I'm bullish and someone's like, oh, there's huge inflows. That's bearish, whatever. I don't know. I do what works for me. And I just kind of stick to that. So no, I don't use open interest. I don't use order books. I don't look at the order books. I don't use any indicators really. I don't use volume. I don't look at inflows and outflows. I don't do any of that. I literally share with you guys on Twitter, in Discord, and in these videos, like the majority of my entire strategy. And a lot of people are like, why do you do that? Why do you share this shit? Why wouldn't you keep this shit private? And for me, I could show you exactly what I do. I pretty much do. I'm giving you the exact setups I'm looking for. It doesn't mean that you're going to be profitable. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to replicate it, because I can show you how to shoot a basketball. But if I've shot the basketball 10,000 times and it's your first time shooting, you're not going to be as good as me, right? You have to put in the chart time. You have to work on your mental edge, execution, psychology, and you got to get the reps in, the pattern recognition. I'm able to eyeball ranges quickly. And I know that this is, the 79% retracement. I can see order blocks on this chart very quickly. I see similar price action patterns happen very quickly because I've been doing this for literally years and years and years. So yeah, I just went on a huge rant there. I don't even remember what the fucking question is. Sorry. It's the mustache, dude. Are we not digging the stash? Are we not? What is your opinion on the bearish retest of the macro trend line from March 2020 low? Same thing happened in 2017, 2019. I don't use trend lines, so I don't have an opinion on it at all. The only thing I'm really watching here that is like potentially kind of fucked is that this could look, kind of similar to this here. I mean, you got to remember, first of all, if you go watch some of my older streams, I talked about a retest happening around 53K. So, and also I was talking about this back in June, right? And we came up and we've hit, a significant area. I've talked about this for months when we were down here and when we were moving up. I said, this is an area to be cautious. Just like we're looking for a retest of this range, right? This is a lower low. This could very well be a lower high and we could fucking sell off fucking hard, right? I'm not saying we're going to do that for sure, but we could absolutely do something like this and this could become a lower high and then maybe we put in a higher low. I don't know. But this is the area where if a lower high is going to form from this dump, it happens in this area in my opinion. Maybe we run this high, but it happens in this area and I've been talking about that for a while. Be cautious up here. Came up to it, boom, rejected. So definitely something to watch. Another thing to watch as well is this kind of looks like this, right? Failed breakout, boom, pull back right into the 7-9 dump, right? Very similar thing happening here, right? There's your deviation. That's your short entry. That's your risk. Very similar thing could happen here. Right? Short entry risk. So we don't know, right? But something to watch for sure. We did hit an area where I've talked about for a while. This is where you want to be cautious, right? You want to be cautious as we come up into, the area where if we're going to put in a lower high of this swing, where does it happen? In my opinion, it happens somewhere in this range. So do we get one more stab up and then a correction? Is this it? We don't fucking know yet, but we are in an area where we need to be cautious from a high time frame perspective. Okay. I'm in a ranty mood today, guys. I'm sorry. Where's the soundboard? It's fucking not working. I'm annoyed. Is the Bitcoin top in? I don't know, bro. Fanny pack Mayne. You having sushi tonight? I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I just ordered a little Jugo juice smoothie. It's very nice. I kind of want another one. And I had like some little sandwich thing, but I'm still hungry. Daddy Mayne teaching us like stuff like our dads never did. Professor Mayne, thanks for the video. I follow every week. Everything clear. Best alpha. Thank you, bro. What's your NFL team? Fuck. I mean, I love Tom Brady. So I don't know how people take that, but I love Tom Brady. So Tampa Bay's dope. Love Gronk. But the closest team to me, and the only team I've actually seen live a few times, is Seattle, the Seahawks, because I live in Canada, and they're just a hop, skip, and a jump over the border. Back when we were allowed to leave countries and stuff like that, pre-COVID. No longer. I don't know what's angrier, that neck or the mustache. Bro, come on now. Man, can you teach us your workout routine to get traps like that? Yeah, 5x5, deadlift, squat, bench, overhead press, 3 to 4 times a week, and eat a bunch of peanut butter and drink a bunch of milk. Hey, Mayne, when in a futures trade, how does funding affect you? So funding is a way for the exchange to mitigate the difference between the cost of the futures contract and the spot price. So if funding is positive or negative, longs or shorts will either be paying or receiving money to hold a position open. Funding is only relevant on the perp contracts, which stands for perpetual, because they have no expiration date. Theoretically, you could hold it forever, where actual futures contracts, ones that are dated, like the December 31st or whatever, they have an expiration date, so they don't pay funding. And there's way smarter people than me who can explain that shit to you. Cred, for example, has done articles on that. Aurelius, guys like that. Think the thesis on ETH killers will change with the ramping up of Arbitrum. Don't really have an opinion, to be honest. I mean, the only ecosystem that I see is like a serious competitor for ETH is Solana, because it is backed by Sam and the boys, right? Sam, I think, is a legend. I think he's a very, very smart and calculated man. I don't think that's a person you want to bet against by any means. I mean, he was like the largest donor, or the second largest donor to Biden. He's buying arenas, he's sponsoring teams and athletes. Like, the man's solid as fuck, smart as fuck. So Solana, I could see being some competition. In ETH killer, I don't know. But the one thing I don't like about what's going on Solana right now is it seems like they're just copying everything, right? There's Solana apes, there's Solana punks. It just seems like kind of very cheap knockoffs. I don't know. I'm not super into that stuff, to be honest with you. I'm a chart monkey. I just look at the charts and fucking press buttons and try and make money. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Hopefully that answered your question. Any tips on getting more serious into trading? Been doing it casually outside of my main job. I see what you did there. Though I want to learn the mystical art of trading. Put more time in, man. Right? Like anything in life, if you want to get good at it, you want to take it seriously, you need to make time and you need to put in the effort, you need to make sacrifices. So for me, when I was working full-time before I was a full-time trader, I would set aside time every single night and I would study, right? I would watch videos, I'd look at charts, that kind of shit. I would refine and work on my edge, right? And I would dig into stuff, but I was addicted and I was after it. I wanted to. As soon as I got home from work, all I wanted to do was look at the charts, right? So you got to have that desire. Obviously, it's not just about making money. You got to have the desire and the to want to learn and to get good at it. But yeah, put in the time, man, right? If you want to take it seriously, put in the time. If you love something and you want to do it, right, you make time for it. It's no different than a sport, a hobby, anything. You're not going to get good at guitar if you never pick it up and practice, right? Great analysis. Thank you. Jose Valencia. Cool name, man. That big gap down would be untapped liquidity. Milk. I do have the same skin color as Milk. Correct. I got wrecked today. Got scared and closed my longs like a dumbass. It happens to the best of us, bro. How often did you blow your account when you started trading? I've blown plenty of accounts, but I have not blown an account in a long ass fucking time because I use stops and proper risk management now. Going all in rarely fucking works. Trade spot, never get liquidated. Learn for a few years, absolutely. Can you explain funding rate and how it can be interpreted before entering a trade? You can find that on Twitter. On the actual exchange websites, it explains how the funding works. But if you really want to, I mean, for most people, how big are your position sizes, right? Like that's going to be a part of the funding payment calculation. But there's so much you can look into it, right? If funding is negative, right, for a long period of time, you could say, hey, because funding is negative, that's bullish or whatever. Funding is positive, that's bearish. Funding is negative, we're at support, putting in high lows. I don't know. There's so many things you can use regarding funding to try and make interpretations about what is going on in the market. You can also look at the premiums between spot versus the exchanges, right? If the spot price is ahead of the perpetual contract price, right? If there's a spot premium, some people say that's bullish. If there's a derivatives premium, people say that's bearish because that means the move is likely led by the derivatives exchanges, leverage, blah, blah, blah. Again, not something I use in my edge at all. So I'm not the guy to ask that, to be honest with you. Do you find EMAs as a distraction rather than an edge? I think I've ranted pretty hard today about how I don't use any of that stuff. I know lots of people who use moving averages and exponential moving averages very well as part of their trading, and they use them to identify trend, and they use them to, as kind of dynamic support and resistance. Not something I use. Okay, there's so many questions here, guys. I'm gonna have to get back to the charts because this is getting crazy. Kind of worried that we've set a lower high shoulder at 50K, not 57K, so maybe we're just really into a bear market. Thoughts? Possibly, bro. How much does your tattoo cost? $1,500 a session. Mayne, can you apply trading ideas with stocks? Yes, absolutely. What is your average trade time? I don't know, anywhere from a few hours to a few days. Is that a Kotsky image as your desktop wallpaper? You're goddamn right it is. Nah, screw the lagging indicators. I'm all market structure and key levels and trend lines. Very nice. Similar to me. Okay. Bro, I'm literally MJ. I don't understand. Hey, would you say you have no bias towards long or shorts? I see you go for longs mostly. Well, I mean, I basically laid out long and short scenarios here. I go with whatever the market tells me, right? We've been in an uptrend here until very recently, right? This has been a monstrous uptrend for basically the last month almost. So yeah, I've been looking for longs instead of looking for shorts. But now we've broken market structure. So now I might be potentially looking for shorts instead of longs, right? You just got to go with what the market is telling you. Have no bias towards one or the other. I think naturally people have an affinity, especially early on, to long and to like to long. And I get that. But as a trader, no bias up or down. I like longing because when I long, that means Bitcoin's going up and I own Bitcoin. So that's awesome. But in general, you should have no bias. Oh, people are calling me daddy because of my mustache. Okay. All right, there's so many questions here. I'm down to ban this guy. Who are we banning? Braden, yeah, we'll get a beer, definitely. Okay. Thank you. My neck is beautiful. I appreciate that. Okay, there's a lot of fucking questions here, and I'm gonna be fucking all day in the chat if I don't get back to the charts. And this isn't an AMA. This is supposed to be a fucking review of charts. So Bitcoin done, fucking dusted. So Ethereum, right, traded much higher into its retracement than Bitcoin, right? Fuck, what did I do? Oops. Right, so Bitcoin from the very high to the very low came right around the 6.2, right? Ethereum, however, rallied way harder, came all the way up to the 7.9 and rejected, and we actually rejected right in the daily bearish order block that broke market structure and sent price down, came all the way up to it. Boom, there's your lower high, and this is now trading back down here. So Ethereum, like if that is the top, right, that is a pretty gnarly complacency shoulder, but that is very consistent with what we see, Bitcoin do all the fucking time, right? You have the big dump happen, and then you have a complacency shoulder right in between the 6.2 to the 7.9, right? This is Bitcoin 10.1. Happens all the time in this market, and it would not surprise me if that is, the fucking top on Ethereum for now. I don't know, but if that is, I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. The difference for me looking at this complacency shoulder, right, from here to here, and then the bear market, and looking at this and this is this. It's the time that we spent down here, right? If this was going to be a complacency bounce, I kind of thought it would look more like, something like this, right? Dump, boom, and then, right, a bear market. The fact that we spent months down here with a spot premium, right, with a lot of what proved to be accumulation going on, makes me more bullish for the continuation of a bull market versus this being the lower high and us going all the way down. I'm open for any option. I'm not counting out this being it and then us trading down. And I'm also not counting out the possibility that, we trade back up and we make a new all-time high on Ethereum and a new all-time high on Bitcoin. I'm ready for whatever. But the difference to me between 2017 and now in terms of like, oh, this is just the complacency shoulder, is this kind of big, time and space that we accumulated here before making that move up. Makes me think that it's more likely that we, continue higher, put in a macro higher low, and then go up versus, this being the complacency shoulder and we're fucked. Anything is possible. I'm just going to play it level to level. But in terms of where Ethereum rejected from, daily bearish order block that caused the down move, retrace right into the 7.9, dump. How do you trade this, right? You could have started shorting here, layered up into here, and your stop goes at the top of the order block, right? You could have put one ask right there, stop at the top of the order block. You're now in profit. Personally, I didn't end up shorting Ethereum, right? But I'm looking for something on the lower time frame, right? I'd be looking for something on like the lower time frame like this, right? Here's a range. Breakdown of the range, consolidate. I would probably be looking to short something like that. Much tighter risk reward rather than taking the daily swing short. But if you got short on Ethereum because of that daily bearish order block, I mean, that's textbook 101, how I enter trades. Big retracement. We're into the premium of the range. Daily bearish order block, rejected, dumped, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, so I think Ethereum here is potentially in a little bit better of a spot than Bitcoin, just like kind of from a market structure perspective, in that like Bitcoin, I don't know, we ran that high and then we broke this low. Where Ethereum, we didn't really break, the low here. I mean, you could argue that this is your market structure low and we're now bearish, but we're kind of already within this consolidation here. Whereas Bitcoin, right, is a little bit, I don't know, the support doesn't seem as strong here. So looking at Ethereum from like a lower time frame perspective, what do I think could happen? Blah, blah, blah. Big rejection on the daily. My next guess would be similar to Bitcoin, that we hopefully retrace some of this move, right, up into here. and then I would do the exact same thing that I would do on Bitcoin, right? I'd be looking to potentially get into shorts here, or at least hedging some of my exposure in this area, stop up here, entry around here, and go from there. That would be kind of the first trade that jumps out at me. In terms of like a lower time frame thing or a long scenario, whatever you want to call it, we are within, kind of some high time frame support here. So Bitcoin's 3-day order block was here, and we're trading here, right? We're trading at 45K. Its 3-day order block was 40 to 42K. Ethereum, we're trading in that high time frame order block right now. So there is a chance that this is the low on Ethereum, right? Like, I'm not really interested in shorting Ethereum right into this consolidation. You have like basically, SR here, right? Resistance potentially is becoming support now. So I would hope that we at least get some sort of bounce and then up into here, stop here, potentially look for shorts here, depending on what Bitcoin does and shit like that. That's kind of the most obvious trade setup that I see on Ethereum here in the near term. Zooming in on the lower time frame, very similar to Bitcoin. You could draw a range out here, but it's a little bit uglier. Right? 1, 2, 3. Get above the mid-range. Probably start scaling into some longs. Target there. Target there would be my guess, right? Fib from there to there. That's right at the start of the 0.79. Very similar to Bitcoin. We've got a little bit of a void here. Empty space that could probably get filled in. So that would be kind of your long scenario. Very similar on a low time frame, kind of intraday thing towards on Ethereum as it is to Bitcoin. Very similar in my opinion. But yeah, high time frame, hoping we get a retrace into here to potentially short for lower. So if we get something like this, don't be surprised, right? Lower high and then potentially a lower low. Similar to Bitcoin, I don't really want to see Ethereum trade back below what is this here, like 2,800 to 2,900, right? Similar to Bitcoin, that big accumulation range. I don't really want to see us trade below there for any significant period of time. If we come down here, I think you bid it, just like 42K and 40K on Bitcoin. But if we start trading back down here, and this is just some big deviation, it's going to look really ugly. All right. Any questions on Ethereum? You're looking mad cute today. Thanks, bro. Likely already asked, but why did you choose crypto markets and not Forex or others? When crypto is trending, there is no other market like it in terms of the volatility, the extremely hard trending bull runs. So I find the price action to be relatively clean, and the volatility and the trends are insane. So you can make a lot of money. It's also 24/7. I also, own a bunch of Bitcoin, and I want to own more Bitcoin and more Ethereum because I think over the long term it's going up. I still do trade Forex. I post trades on gold and silver and shit like that. I don't trade a ton of options or a ton of stocks. Not really my niche. I learned how to trade trading Forex. But yeah, I still trade Forex, just not nearly as much. I trade a little bit of equities. Like I'll trade the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, shit like that, like the futures contracts, but not nearly as much as I trade crypto. It's my favorite market. I love the community. I love being on Twitter. I love doing these videos. So that's why. If you want to help these people make some money, show them HBAR. I can look at that later. Is this stream still in partnership with BitBoy? Definitely not. Around what price would you start looking for shorts on ETH, right? Well, we pull the fib from here to here. $36.50 up to $3,800 is probably where I'd start paying attention if we get there. A lot of people saying, so listen, go on Twitter. This guy's saying a lot of people are calling this the lows for altcoins for the rest of the year, but looking at BTC dominance, it looks like it might bounce, which means BTC goes up, alts suffer a little bit, or BTC dominance could go up and Bitcoin could drop and alts could just drop harder. Listen, there's so many people on Twitter who are been talking about alt season for like the past 18 months. So, I mean, eventually you're going to be right. We've had some crazy runs on alts, right? Solana, AVAX, shit has been going ham for sure on alts. But we've also had tons of alts over the last 18 months go up thousands and thousands and thousands of percent. So if people are saying, oh, the alt party is just getting started, it's like, where the fuck have you been? Alts have appreciated insanely. Can they go way higher? Sure, right? I don't really know. I'm not really in the game of making those predictions, but you just gotta be careful on Twitter. It's very easy engagement baiting to just say alts are gonna go ham because alts have strong communities, people are bag holding, and people want to get rich quick, and they want to hit that 10,000% lottery ticket by being all in with their $1,000 on an alt and turn it into 100 grand or whatever. So people love alts. So it's very easy to say alts are gonna go crazy and get a ton of likes and shit. I'm more interested in just trading charts that look good, level to level. That's all I really do. I'm not in the game of just hoping to hit a home run on an altcoin. That's not really how I trade. Am I invested in certain alts? Absolutely. But if they start looking bearish or if they start going super parabolic, I take some fucking profits, right? I'm not in a position where I need my altcoin to 100x to make it. You know what I mean? All right, there's a lot of there's so many questions today in the chat, guys. I'm never gonna get through the charts. This video is already over an hour, so I'm gonna get into LTC here real quick. So I'm super salty about this one because basically just missed my TP, right? I was hoping to come up into here basically and fill in some of this. We filled in some, right? But when we came back down here, I opened a long here, hoping we'd put in a higher low, because LTC relative to Bitcoin, relative to ETH is definitely lagging, right? We have our big 3-month accumulation range, and it looks like we've just broken out of it, whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum had their big range and were well broken out already, right? LTC, from just like a market structure, just looking at like the patterns of it, LTC looks like it's way earlier here and it could play some catch up. But yeah, missed my long. I guess Walmart announced that they were accepting Litecoin, or someone associated with Walmart. I don't really know the entire story, but I know that it was fake, and it went crazy. And then, as you can see, completely retraced the move. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm still in my LTC long, effectively very, very similar to Bitcoin. The price action on these three look almost identical. In terms, other than this fucking disgusting candle here. But if we're able to get back up there, something like that, that could lead to a potential short entry. I don't know. But if this range, right, is able to break to the upside, this is where I'd be looking for LTC to go to, right? Fill in some of this and potentially trade up into here as well. But there's a bearish order block there. So who fucking knows? But if we're able to break up here, I think LTC can go to 200 and potentially higher. But yeah, it looks like it's lagging a little bit. LTC is a cursed coin. I bet on LTC early in this bull run, hoping it was going to have a big run. Obviously, it made a new all-time high, but like barely, right? It barely made a new all-time high, and Ethereum went absolutely bonkers, and Bitcoin went bonkers. So not one of my best bets. But yeah, I mean, this type of move, I ignore. So I'm not looking at this as like price action that I'm considering. I wouldn't call this an SFP. I wouldn't consider this like, you know, an area that needs to get filled in or a void or anything like that. Like, to me, I just ignore this. I'm focused on this. And if we're able to break out, I think you can get up into here, get some exits, and then potentially hedge for a move down. Who knows? But yeah. Was rewatching the up only trader special the other day, which was like 5 days before the nuke. You ask everyone if anyone sees a dump coming and not just up, and nobody took the question on properly. I guess that's because I'm super smart. Yeah. All right. So let's look at Solana real quick here. So yeah, Solana did kind of exactly what I said it was going to do in my stream. So if you go, or my altcoin video, if you go watch the altcoin video from yesterday, I talked about this move getting pretty parabolic here. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of correction. I drew out the daily order block here, and look at that. Right into the daily order block and a big old bounce. You know, is this going to now go on and make a new high? It could. Market structure to me on this is still bullish, right? As long as we're holding above here, this order block, still bullish. So this is technically a higher low, but this is order block 101. And you got a nice move already. If you would have had an entry right at the order block's edge, just the order block's edge to where we are now, you know, it's almost 10%. And at one point it was as high as 15%. So a very nice reaction off the order block. Now we got to see if it can continue higher and if it's going to continue its bullishness. If we get below here, right below the order block, much larger correction coming. But for now, I'm not betting against this thing. Nice pullback here. But yeah, this is obviously a critical area that it needs to hold to see continued bullishness. And then if we're able to get back above 195, I think that would be a giga long signal for much higher prices, because that's effectively the failed swing, right? We made a higher high and then back below it instantly, retest, boom. So exactly what I talked about in stream. So if we're able to get above here, I think that's super bullish. For now, I'm watching this bounce and let's see how high it goes and go from there. I personally did not get in along on this, unfortunately. But it is always nice, even if you don't make money, to see my analysis play out, because then I can brag about it on Twitter and in these videos to you guys. So yeah, this is 101, right? The low to the high, right into the sweet spot, right into the order block, and bounce. And you could find a trade on the low time frame, right? Within here, right? Or on even a lower time frame. You know that we're bullish here. We're bullish here. So when you saw price consolidating here, and then we did this over under, right? Under the level, above, retest, risk is here, entry is here. That's a trade right there into here, right? You can look for bullishness here. There's an SFP, right? Once the candle closes, stop there, entry there, right? Boom. Why are we able to look for bullishness here? Because the high time frame is bullish. We're within an area of high time frame support, so you can drill down and look for low time frame bullish entries because you're in line with that high time frame order flow, right? All right, I will take a couple questions or a couple more questions from the chat here, guys, and then I'll chart up a couple more altcoins, and then I'm gonna end it. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100% right now, and we're already over an hour into the stream, but I think this was a good one. Lots of good alpha, some pretty clear plans for the week. So let's see. Someone said, can I look at DOT? We'll take a look at DOT. So, I mean, is this a bearish retest, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Look at where this came into and look at where it's rejecting from, right? So if this is a bearish retest, it happens here. If we're able to start trading above the 70.5, absolutely above the 7.9, I think new all-time highs coming for DOT. So get above 42 bucks. Definitely starts looking really interesting for longs. But for now, we are into high time frame resistance on this. Let's see, 12-hour candle. Is that a swing failure pattern? No. Technically, it made a higher high. Is the daily in SFP? No. So technically a higher high. So can it get above? I would really want to see it trade above here to probably get in some longs, right? Trade above here to get in some longs, or I'm interested in buying lower. Not interested in buying right into here. We're into a lot of high time frame resistance here, right? And just barely made a higher high with a big wick. Get above 35.95, which is this swing high. Might be interested in getting into some longs on that. But this for now is into some high time frame resistance. All right, we had a couple people ask for Atom. Let's take a look. So, I mean, new all-time high, right? So that's good. So there's your SR that you want to see us hold above now. 32.74, 32.75, right? We're consolidating right at that level. I would ideally want to see us hold above that previous all-time high. Here's a daily order block that we moved away from, already retested. So could we come down here again? Potentially. And then go up. But really want to see us effectively hold the previous all-time high and hold above this daily order block for continued bullishness on Atom. Cosmos. HBAR. Looks very similar to Atom. I mean, this was clean as fuck. Imagine that, right? Right into the weekly order block, big SFP, right into it, and boom. So, not sure here. Let's see. I think I like this here. So see this resistance level? Right? Resistance, resistance, big sell-off, break above, we want to hold above here. So as long as we're holding above there, I think it looks decent. And there's a 12-hour order block within that SR that I just marked right here. So there you go, right? Your bullish bias, I think, remains as long as we're above here for a higher low, right? And then boom. If Bitcoin shits the bed, right, a lot of alts are probably going to pull back, and you might be able to get away with some, cheeky stink bids, right? Like down to this order block is a 20% dip. So I think you want to see it hold here, ideally. But if Bitcoin dumps, you could see a big wick on a lot of these alts. If Bitcoin dumps and then recovers, right, into some of these lower support levels here. And you might be able to get a pretty cheeky fill. So go look on your daily and 12-hour and 3-day charts. Find kind of a high time frame order block that might be 10 to 15% away. And if you think Bitcoin's going to dip, set some stink bids, right? SFP does stand for swing failure pattern. AVAX is pumping. That's good because I'm in a long. So there you go, right? Right off the 12-hour order block here, pushing up. Now I want to see us rally and make a higher high, right? So I've covered AVAX like 3 times now recently in like altcoin videos and streams, but higher high here, right? Want to see this order block hold. It is. So I want to see this thing go up and fucking go to the moon. Obviously. Obviously, bro. But yeah, right off of the 12-hour order block. So it looks good for now. Yeah, looks good. MATIC. A lot of better looking coins than this one out there right now. Jesus Christ. Kind of a nasty high time frame swing failure pattern here. That's pretty clean. I mean, like this looks like it could potentially get ready to go, right? Bitcoin's a little tricky right now, right? If Bitcoin dips, this is going to dump. But for now, it's potentially putting in a higher low, and it could have a little bit of a rally. But to me, there's a lot better looking altcoins than this one right now. Just from a market structure perspective, you know, looks like shit versus Bitcoin too, right? So why would you trade this when you could trade, I mean, Solana's a bad example because it's already absolutely mooned. But there's coins that are outperforming Bitcoin and have much cleaner, nice, bullish market structure. And then there's coins that look like MATIC where they don't look nearly as good. Doesn't mean this can't go up, but I don't know. I would look at coins, if you're just trading and you like to long, find ones that have good looking market structure. But yeah, MATIC, not the best look. Technically into support here. Really wouldn't want to see it lose, you know, this kind of 110 to 120 area. When do you use all the indicators on the left? I barely use these at all. These are the indicators like here. That's all. So I don't really use these. This one I use sometimes because it just marks out key levels: Monday high, Monday low, the weekly open, Monday's range, monthly opens, and shit like that. So I'll use this one, but I don't really use any of these, to be honest with you. What is the chart platform you use? This is called TradingView. Mayne, how do you decide which alts to enter into trades on? Many look decent based on your strategy. Do you just set a bunch of target prices and hope they trigger? You gotta realize that you can't catch every fucking move, right? The problem a lot of people will make, right, is if you all of a sudden are like, hey, I'm gonna set bids on these 15 altcoins, well then all of a sudden you might have a ton of risk, right? The market is very, very much correlated, right? There are going to be periods of time where alts are outperforming Bitcoin, Bitcoin's outperforming altcoins, this altcoin's outperforming this altcoin, but there's a huge amount of correlation in this market, and if Bitcoin dumps, everything's going to dump, right? So if you're long 15 fucking altcoins and Bitcoin dumps, you might eat a massive dick, right? So you have to be aware of how much risk you have open. So what I do is I go through the charts, I use Twitter, I talk to my friends in Discord, and I say, hey, what alts are moving? Which alts look good? I go through a bunch of charts, and then I find ones that look to me to have clean setups that might, you know, fit what I'm looking for. Like MATIC, to me, I would look at this chart, nothing is jumping out at me right now. Whereas AVAX, right? Everyone's talking about it. It's moving. It just made an all-time high. And I'm like, okay, I see a very clear 12-hour order block here. We just made a higher high. This is a setup I'm interested in taking, right? So you got to go through the charts and find ones that look appetizing to you. You don't have to be in every move, and you don't have to catch every trade. But majority of my trades are Bitcoin and Ethereum. How massive would said dick be? It would be pretty big, man, right? If you're long 15 different altcoins, you know, that's like taking a fucking Ron Jeremy sized cock to the face if Bitcoin fucking nukes, right? Like if you're long a shit ton of altcoins, like here, right? You ate massive amounts of shit if you had way too much risk on the market, weren't using stops. So if you're risking 1 to 2% per trade, and then you open, let's say you're risking 1% per trade, but then you open 10 trades, you now have 10% of your account at risk, right? Yo, so crypto is just a limited supply of nothing or what? I don't even understand what that means. Okay, I think I'm gonna like end this here. Like there's no intrinsic value beside us wanting to get richer. I mean, you could say that. There's people who think crypto is changing the world. They're banking the unbanked, right? In a lot of maybe underbanked nations, they can use crypto to transact with each other without the need of an intermediary, without the need of a bank. All you need is a cell phone and an internet connection. There's people making money off of it. There's people doing all sorts of great stuff with crypto. So I wouldn't say there's no intrinsic value in crypto, but I am absolutely here to get rich. Do you use stops for your long-term bags? I mean, it's a little different, but everything is a trade. Even if you're just buying spot of an altcoin, it's still a trade. You still need to have a target idea. You still need to know where your idea is wrong, why you're entering, where you're entering. It just might be over a much longer time horizon, right? Not necessarily like my Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example. Like I have spot BTC and Ethereum, you know, I might never sell, but yeah, everything is a trade, right? Even if you're just buying spot of an altcoin, it's still a trade. Like your idea could still be wrong. If you're long, Rune here, and you bought Rune like here, and you rode it all the way up here, right? Like, are you just holding this all the way back down? Or are you saying, okay, I'm taking some off, it's getting vertical, and if it loses this low, I'll take more profit. Like, you have to still have a plan. Or you can just hodl, right? Just hodl. No Naruto stream anymore. I can do another gaming stream soon and another AMA kind of thing. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I've got to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back with another altcoin video on Thursday. If you have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. Shout out to Bybit again for sponsoring the video. Oh, my screen's looking all weird now. But yeah, I'm tired. I need to go lay down. I don't feel so good. So I'm going to get some rest. If you have any questions, join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Send me some DM. Tag me in some shit. And I'll talk to you guys later.